Good day everyone, Brayden here coming to you from the main street at the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World here in Orlando, Florida. Behind me here you can see they're doing all this pathway work over here. Today is a big day. Tonight is a big night. I believe that tonight we are going to see the new Walt addition to Disney Enchantment premiere. And if you're seeing this, it means that it did premiere. And before we get to the footage, which I've spent a lot of time on, I spent some money to get some nice equipment to capture this really well for you guys up close on the castle with Walt. A little backstory on what you're about to see. So since October 1st, 2021, the main fireworks show on regular days here at the Magic Kingdom has been Disney Enchantment. This new fireworks show, which has gotten mixed reviews. Some guests are big fans of Enchantment. They say that the show's underrated, it's very good. Other guests are not such big fans of this show. There's a bunch of criticisms out there. I think a big one is that it's not Happily Ever After, the show that this replaced. That one, the songs that were used, it just had some sort of X factor that this show doesn't have. And I think that there's a good chance that we actually see Happily Ever After come back, or Disney do a whole new fireworks show come the end of the 50th anniversary. The 50th anniversary ends at the end of March of 2023. So for at least the next 7 months here, we are likely to have Disney Enchantment here. It might go on even longer than that. The next 7 months, we're definitely going to have Disney Enchantment here. And Disney's been surveying guests about what they don't like about the show, what they don't like about the 50th anniversary so far. And a big criticism is that the show that's here for the 50th anniversary doesn't celebrate Walt Disney World or even make reference to Walt Disney. Now, last week, after dark, Disney tested after guest hours this edition, this 2-minute edition, and tonight it should be premiering here. The concern is that it's supposed to rain right around showtime at 9 p.m. tonight, so I'm a little stressed out here. I'm gonna go get my spot a few hours early here. I'll give you guys an update in a sec. All right, guys, we're set up. We got the ridiculous lens. We got some clouds rolling in here. They're headed right towards us. He's better not mess it up. We want to see Walt.
Tonight, we gather in a most enchanted kingdom, one overflowing with magic. And once upon a time, it all began with a dream.
Yesterday, Disneyland and the New York World's Fair. Tomorrow, a project so vast, it has already been called a whole new Disney World.
As you can see on this map, we have a perfect location in Florida. There's enough land here to hold all the ideas and plans you can possibly imagine. Is a tribute to the philosophy and life of Walter Elias Disney. May Walt Disney World bring joy and inspiration and new knowledge to all who come to this happy place. A magic kingdom where the young at heart of all ages can laugh and play and learn together. Dedicated this 25th day of October, 1971.
Sure is swell. Some folks like to say that it all started with a dream, but you want to know what makes this place really special? It's you! Each and every one of you. Anytime you set foot here, you leave this place brighter than it was before, because you are the magic.
Make a wish upon a star. Close your eyes and just believe it.
So guys, there you have it. your first 4K look at the addition to Disney Enchantment. I was really impressed with it personally. You know, we saw the test last week that Disney did. Some great streamers, they got video of it from the Contemporary, and it already looked pretty awesome. We knew there was gonna be all this Walt Disney archival footage and things like that on the castle, and that helped me in terms of figuring out what part of the castle to film, so I could get the part where Walt's face is and all of that. It is an awesome addition that they did there. And they added that part with Mickey, who ties what you just saw in with the existing Enchantment show, and then it goes into the regular Enchantment show. I figured you guys didn't need to see that again. If you want to see Enchantment, I highly recommend you check out Cliff Flicks here on YouTube. He has an amazing rendition. I think it's in 8K or something like that, something insane. So what did I think of this? I thought it was really awesome. I thought this was a great addition to Enchantment. Do we see Enchantment stick around? You know, there's still a lot of guests out there that are still upset, even with this tag, because they're like, okay, does this just mean that they're going to keep Enchantment longer? Some people really have a big issue with Enchantment. I really don't. You know, it almost seems like alternate dimension Happily Ever After, if you know what I mean, in terms of the timing of it, the pacing of it. It's very similar to Happily Ever After in a lot of ways, but it's not Happily Ever After. It is a different show here that we got for the 50th anniversary, and Disney intended this to be the permanent show. It was actually Happily Ever After that was always supposed to be the temporary show. When they made it, it was supposed to be temporary till the 50th, and then they debut a big new spectacular. And Happily Ever After, it has such a fan base, it caught on so much. It seems like anything they do now, you know, they pick different songs. People are like, it's not the Happily Ever After songs. People really like, in particular, that fireworks spectacular. We have D23 coming up in, you know, what, a couple weeks here. Who knows, maybe we'll hear that after the 50th anniversary, Happily Ever After will return, or something else I've heard from my sources that could happen after the 50th anniversary here, Disney might just do a whole new show. So we'll really have to see what Disney does here. But for the time being, we have Enchantment, and we have that awesome new tag you just saw in the beginning there with the archival footage of Walt Disney, Roy. There's a Pirates of the Caribbean section in there. There's iconography from a bunch of attractions, including Carousel Progress, It's a Small World. A lot of great Easter eggs in there. I really hope you guys like this footage. It was quite a hassle to get. So the story is that, you know, I rented this lens. So I arrive at the park, you know, 4 hours early. I go set up my tripod. I have a good spot. And the clouds, I knew this was gonna happen. I had checked the radar, but you know, the clouds start moving in, and it's like, it is going to rain. And I have all this nice equipment, and I have the perfect spot. You know, what if I had waited there for 4 hours, and then it had rained, and I would have lost my spot, because I would have had to go, you know, inside, because that's very nice equipment. I can't mess it up, right? But it all worked out. It was quite nerve-wracking, but after standing around for a long time, the show was actually delayed by 30 minutes. They kept doing the announcement that due to inclement weather, the show was delayed, and the crowds were booing. People were very excited for the show tonight. There were a lot of the artists that actually did the work on the castle. They were there around me watching the show. There were also executives in attendance gauging the guest reaction to this first showing with the new Walt edition, and it seemed very, very well received. So I don't think it's going anywhere. Enchantment isn't going anywhere for the time being, but we'll just have to see what happens next here. And if you want to know what happens next, be sure to subscribe with those notifications on so you don't miss any of the latest as we find out what Disney's plans are here. What are they going to announce at the D23 Expo? It's 2 weeks away. We only get these every few years. Well, it's supposed to be every couple years, but you know, due to the events of the last 2 years, it's been an every few year thing lately. The last one is in 2019, so we'll just have to see what happens. Thank you guys so much for watching live from outside of Cinderella Castle here in the Magic Kingdom. This is Brayden. Thank you so much for watching. Have a magical day.